Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to IGCSE Success, your one-stop shop for everything first language English. I am currently on holiday, but I've had this video ready for a while, so I thought, why not just get it out there? I'm acutely aware that the May-June exam series will be here before you know it. And before you even think about clicking off this video because of the lousy audio, please don't. Do you know what? I was very tempted to pack my Yeti mic in my suitcase, but I decided against it. It's really heavy, guys, so please bear with my terrible and no doubt tinny audio. I can only apologise. So, what's on the agenda today? Well, this is going to be part of a 10-ish part series that I've lined up, focusing on key skills for succeeding in narrative and descriptive writing, which hopefully will be particularly helpful for paper 2. Today, we are throwing the rule book straight out the window, hence the title page, and looking at sentence fragments. Yes, I know these can make English teachers, and indeed anyone who knows anything about sentence construction, shudder. But guys, let me tell you something. If used sensibly and effectively, they can seriously elevate your creative writing. Trust me. So, with all that said and done, let's get started with today's lesson. So, let's start with the basics. Maybe even rewind all the way back to primary school. You were no doubt taught that for a sentence to be a quote unquote proper sentence, it needs three things: a subject, a verb, and it needs to be a complete thought or idea, I guess. Maybe you've had a piece of work marked and your teacher has circled sentences in red, calling them sentence fragments and saying you mustn't do it. This just means they are incomplete sentences, and generally speaking, I say generally, we should avoid using them. Unless we are using them for effect and we are using them sparingly. And in today's lesson, I'm going to show you how to use sentence fragments for effect. And if you have no idea what I mean by a subject or verb, etc., I really hope you do. Here's a little refresher. Let's take a look at the information in the white box. So subject is a person, place or thing the sentence is about. So Ash, for example. I wonder who that is. Verb, the action or state of being. So walked, was, stayed, flicked, carried. I'm sure we all know what verbs are. And an example sentence to put those two things into practice: Ash walked through the desolate streets. This is a complete sentence. It contains the subject, Ash, it contains the main verb, walked, and it's a complete idea. Now, writing effective creative prose, it really is let's call it a balancing act. You can't use too many ambitious words or you risk losing the intended meaning. You can't overuse sophisticated punctuation. Yes, guys, you can't overdo the semicolons. You can't pre-modify every noun with an adjective. The list goes on. And the same thing, guys, applies to sentence construction or sentence structure. As I said before, you should only really throw the rule book out the window and use sentence fragments when you really want to, I guess, emphasize a particular idea or emotion, and you should use them sparingly. Remember one important mantra, if you like, which I guess in many ways can be applied to all aspects of life, not just your writing. Balance is key. Now let's take a look at a descriptive paragraph that could easily slot into a longer narrative or stand alone as an extended descriptive piece. I've called it the classroom revolt. Gosh, almost reminiscent of my days training to be a teacher, I have to say. Let's take a read. Ash could feel his hope slipping away. The classroom had erupted into uncontrollable laughter. As he sank into his garish yellow plastic chair, it gave way beneath him, sending him crashing to the floor. Paper planes soared through the air, whilst unruly students chanted in unison, rebelling against homework. The neat analysis of a poem on the board was left to gather dust. Now, is there anything particularly wrong with this paragraph? Not really. It's a solid piece that clearly conveys the idea of a teacher, Ash, losing control of the class and no doubt losing the will to live. We've all been there. But my question is, could it be improved with a few well-placed sentence fragments? And of course, the answer is a bit of hyperphora here. Absolutely. Let's take a look. Ash could feel his hope slipping away. The classroom had erupted into uncontrollable laughter. As he sank into his garish yellow plastic chair, it gave way beneath him, sending him crashing to the floor. Humiliation. Paper planes soared through the air whilst unruly students chanted in unison, rebelling against homework. The analysis on the board, forgotten, neat, perfectly written, left to gather dust. Now here's a little test for you. Pause the video now and see if you can spot all of the sentence fragments that I've used. Pause it now. So let's see how you did. So we have that abstract noun, humiliation. Of course, that is not a sentence, it's a sentence fragment. We've got the rhetorical question, the analysis on the board, that verb forgotten, the adjective neat. We've got the phrase perfectly written, and lastly, left to gather dust. All of these are considered sentence fragments because they are missing a subject, a verb, or both, making them incomplete ideas. My next question, and my last question for you, is this. What impact do these sentence fragments have? Do they elevate the writing? And why have I chosen to use them? Well, let's start with that abstract noun, humiliation. Hopefully you can see that it amplifies, it emphasizes, foregrounds, whatever verb you want to use, Ash's emotion, highlighting his shame in a sharp and direct way. We've got that rhetorical question coupled with the verb forgotten. Both of these work together to emphasize the neglect of Ash's work, creating a sense of abandonment. We've got neat, perfectly written. These work together to highlight the contrast between the chaos and the ignored effort. And lastly, left to gather dust. And this conveys the image of something forgotten, deepening this sense of neglect. And there you have it, guys, a mini lesson on how to elevate your creative prose through using sentence fragments. If you've made it to the end, leave me an example of a sentence fragment below. And until next time, bye-bye.